Hey guys, and welcome to the June 2019 Creativity Tarot readings. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kayleigh Jean. If you're new to my channel, you are welcome to use these readings for your sun, moon, or your rising signs. So go ahead and check all of them if one of them doesn't resonate. And I just wanted to say to you, thank you so much to everyone who has been supporting my channel. This month, our Inner Workings topic is all about self-love. So if you're somebody who enjoys my channel and you get something beneficial from these readings and you want to support the work that I'm doing here, I am so grateful to you. And you have a couple of options on how to do that. So the Inner Workings topic is going to be posted on Vimeo, and it's going to be posted on the normal donations page. So if you prefer to donate to support my channel through my website, that option is revamped this time. I'm bringing it back. I was just exploring things last month. So you can donate to support this channel if you get something out of these readings and you want to say thank you. And just as an additional gift to you, I create the Inner Workings topic for each month, which is just a place for us to hang out and talk about spiritual topics. And I love hearing from you guys. And this month I am covering self-love, because it's such a buzzword and it's such a big topic, but I wanted to kind of take it deeper, and I wanted to share more intimately about my personal beliefs and my own personal thoughts on the concept of self-love, what it means, and how I measure it in my own life. And I'm also offering a tarot spread to help you connect to your own relationship with yourself. So that's going to be included in the Inner Workings topic. So I hope that if you're interested in supporting my channel, you will check that out. And I also wanted to say that I am going to continue creating the Vimeo extended readings. Have been a really great way for me to go deeper with the general monthly spreads that I do for you every single month. It's just a way for you to watch the deepening of the energies, especially if you feel that the reading is resonating to you. Then watching the extension is probably going to be even more connected to your energy, because these are just general readings, so they're not guaranteed to resonate with everyone every single month. Okay guys, those are my announcements. I will see you in the readings. Hey Saggy, and welcome to your June reading. Let's get into the meditation messages, because there were a couple of things coming through for you from Spirit before I started the video. So the first thing that I felt, first of all, is that there's something in your life this month, possibly in June, where you could be kind of a wild card, to be frank. I feel like there's some kind of influence or some kind of desire that's coming up within you that is maybe very counterculture, or it's very unconventional. And it's maybe something new for you, Sagittarius, because I feel like this is something that you don't necessarily know, like, all the ins and outs of what it's going to bring, but it does feel like a new inspiration, or what you might consider like a new calling in your life. So there's a sense of you kind of wanting to push forward with something, but at the same time knowing that you don't know where it's going to lead. So you are going out into the unknown this month, and I feel that it's important to kind of let yourself be a bit of a maverick at this time, and take no prisoners. You know, I feel like this is a really powerful time for you to just move forward and not be held back by too much kind of like second guessing yourself. However, in every situation, like, there's going to be different factors and different circumstances. So I'm not saying to be sort of foolhardy necessarily, but I do think that this is a time to push your boundaries and to try exploring something different. Perhaps if you feel like something in your business has been slowing down a little bit, or if you feel like something has gone a little bit stale or a little bit quiet in that area of your life, in whatever area of life that resonates for you, I think doing something dynamic is going to bring in a lot of new energy for you. And so I want you to trust the instincts that you have to try something different. I'm kind of getting like the sense of an explosion a little bit. So that could be something that ends up being really powerful for you. And like I said, don't be foolhardy, but if you are getting an instinct to pursue something that is unknown for you, maybe this is a great time to take a shot at it and try something different, because I feel like you could have some really beautiful explorations coming forward with that. So the other thing that I want to say for you, Sagittarius, is that you have your full moon this month. So it is approaching, if you are a Sagittarius sun sign, it's approaching your half birthday. So if you are a Saggy sun, I would say this is a really good time for you to kind of look at maybe where you see yourself at by the time your birthday season rolls around again. It could also be a really good time for you to think about the progress that you've made up to this point since your birthday, because you've probably maybe written out some goals that you wanted to accomplish, but maybe a couple of those things have changed. So I think it'd be a really good time to kind of pull out that day planner or that journal, wherever you wrote down your goals for this year of your life, and just tune back into that and check in and see if it's still resonant or if you need to change your game plan. I'm kind of feeling like many of you could be changing your game plan a little bit based on the things that have developed so far this year for you. But the other thing that I was noticing with the astrology is that the day before your full moon on the 17th, your ruler, Jupiter, is actually going to be in an exact square aspect to Neptune. And this kind of, as I was tuning into this, it kind of made me feel like for some of you, there could be a situation where you could be clashing a little bit with someone who is either a little bit more emotional than you, or somebody who is maybe like a water sign person. There could be a little bit of a struggle, like a power struggle going on, because that square aspect can create tension. Also, Jupiter, keep in mind your ruler is the traditional ruler of Pisces as well, and Neptune is the new ruler of Pisces. So as I was tuning into this just intuitively, it feels to me like there could be some sort of power struggle in which you're trying to break free of the influence of somebody who is either affecting you on an emotional level, because it's Neptune in Pisces, but it could also be someone who is affecting you on a subconscious level or an unconscious level, because Neptune represents, you know, the inner world and the unconscious, the 12th house. You know, it's all about kind of the inner realm of things. So you might be kind of struggling to break free of the influence of someone this month who is kind of wanting to influence you in some way, or this could be a general sense of you, I don't want to say battling, but you could be dealing with some tension internally. It may not be externalized in the form of another person in your life. It could be that internally you are experiencing some things coming up from your unconscious, maybe through some dreams, maybe some unpleasant dreams, or they could be pleasant, but it just bringing up some questions for you about maybe what you really want and what you need to work on in yourself. And you could be looking also at just different ways that you can kind of harness the power of your unconscious mind in a practical way. So maybe considering dream work or doing things that you can do to kind of get all of the different parts of you working on one level, or all kind of going in one direction, sort of like the Chariot card, so that you can be more in control of your own reality. So whether this is an externalized situation, like you kind of struggling with somebody who is affecting you, or like unconsciously kind of their behavior maybe is kind of getting to you, which is activating some of your own shadow materials, or it's something within you that you're just realizing within yourself that's coming up from the unconscious. Either way, the message or the way to work on this is the same, and it's going to be about really kind of owning your stuff. And you can do that through journaling, you can do that through dream work. But essentially, the more clear that you can be about your internal like motivations for things and your internal machinations in your psyche, the more clear and honest you can be with yourself, the more powerful you will become in your life, and the less that outside influences will be able to kind of affect you. You'll be more kind of in the driver's seat, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards and see what other messages want to come through. Sagittarius. Okay. And we're also going to get you your Animal Spirit Oracle cards for the month. Sagittarius, clear living, active guidance for Saggies. Definitely feels like that and this. Okay, so let's take a look here. So we've got the crocodile as the path, and we've got the hyena. Wow. Wow. So really powerful draw. Again, I'm getting like a confirmation that there's going to be some interesting energies for Sagittarians around that full moon. That's really what I'm getting, especially like I mentioned with the Jupiter-Neptune square. The crocodile card represents that deep unconscious, the reptilian energy, which is the energy of the unconscious. So we have that kind of brewing with that Neptunian influence. We have awarenesses coming up from the unconscious. That's clearly part of your path. But then the hyena card is a fire card. Jupiter, your ruler, is a fire planet. So we have this deep, dark, watery, nebulous energy, which is the Neptune, and then we have your ruler, Jupiter, in the kind of hot, dry hyena card, which is a desert card if you read this oracle guidebook. So and then we have the moon obviously in the background, so this is clearly a continuation of that theme that I originally spoke briefly about in the beginning of your reading. So one thing that I'm getting with the crocodile and the hyena is that both of these creatures are somewhat aggressive. Both of them have a very primal feel. Both of these cards have a very primal feel. So there's something here about what I want to say, and this is kind of a funny expression, but what I want to say to you, Sagittarius, is that June is a month to show them who's boss. And I know that that might sound, it might come off different kinds of ways to different people, but there's something here about really owning your power in both of these cards and really recognizing that the only people that can influence you are the people that you allow to influence you. And there's something here almost, there's like something about dark humor that I also get, like a little bit of like a sarcastic edge coming through with both of these creatures that makes me feel like it's not necessarily dark energies for the month at all, even though these cards are kind of visually dark, but I feel like there's something coming through in the energies, the core energies of this month that have to do with really recognizing your own shadow and being able to accept it within yourself and almost laugh at it. That is the time when we really truly transcend our own dark side. So this is something that you can work with. For example, if you notice yourself having a very violent thought, for example, if someone is really treating you poorly or if they are really stepping on you, like that's the feeling I get is like with the crocodile, it's like, you think you can step on me, like you think you can just trample over me. Like that's not how it is. That's not my strength. Like you're making a mistake by doing this to me. So there's almost like a scorpionic energy that I see. So I want to kind of talk to you guys like about this up here because it feels like this is a pretty significant theme for you this month. And so I want to talk about it a little bit more personally, but essentially kind of what I get is with the scorpionic energy, if you're a Sagittarius who has maybe like a Scorpio Venus or Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon, or Mars in Scorpio, there can be this tendency when there's this energy to almost kind of like boil over, like stewing over kind of like a desire for revenge in a way. And so it can feel a little dark, honestly, but I think for you, Sagittarius, you're such a light-hearted sign and you're so kind of full of optimism for yourself about the future that generally speaking, I think if you find yourself thinking kind of angry thoughts, or if you find yourself kind of really stewing over something and catching yourself being a little bit scorpionic in terms of your sensitivity to the world, it's a perfect opportunity for you to just stop and laugh at it. And but at the same time, set firmer boundaries, learn from your mistakes, learn from the experiences that you have where you do unwittingly allow someone to affect you negatively, like maybe bring down your mood one day, for example, or something along those lines. This is about taking your power back through humor and laughter and through owning your own shadow, through owning your own stuff. So if you, again, find yourself thinking a violent thought, or if you find yourself thinking something that you wouldn't really want to admit to people that you have those thoughts, that's your shadow, Sagittarius. And it's a really great thing to accept that. You know, you can even write it out. I know some people have had amazing results with shadow work through writing like fictional stories related to like owning their shadow. So basically, if you have a violent thought, you could write it in your journal, describe the scene, you know, of you like attacking someone who's been just like bullying you for months or, you know, however long. And then it's like, okay, you actually release it through just writing out this imaginary scenario. You get it out safely into your journal. You can even burn the paper afterwards so nobody knows. Nobody knows that you had a dark thought. And then it's gone and you've let it out and you can just accept yourself. And when you find that radical self-acceptance and self-love, that's when you can see it in others and without condemning it. That's when you can see the ignorance of another person and not condemn them and not project, therefore, all of your own unowned shadow stuff onto them because you're not willing to look at yourself. So this is really deep spiritual work that many of you are doing this month, especially if you are like a subscriber of my channel. I feel like this is something that's very specific to the creatives out there. It's very specific in terms of the ways that we typically talk about working on ourselves every single month on this channel. So if you've been with me for a while, this is probably going to be something that you notice. But like I said, I think you can take a humorous approach. I think you can look up shadow work online and see maybe some examples of how other people have done this. There's a really great book by Robert Johnson called, I think it's called Owning Your Shadow, I believe. So you could check that out as well. That's something that's really, really helpful. It's been helpful for me anyway. So I think we've talked about this enough. It's going to be a significant theme. That's why I really wanted to address it. Okay, so let's take a look at the arena in which these things may be occurring and any additional messages for you for the month using your tarot cards. So we've got the Seven of Pentacles, Four of Cups, the Star, the King of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Emperor, the Four of Wands, and the Death card. So as you go into the month of June, it looks like for you, Sagittarius, you're feeling a little bit uninspired, possibly. And maybe this is something that you've been going through kind of later in the month of May. It's going to be, you know, different for everyone, but we have this kind of Seven of Pentacles energy, which is like a productive energy, but then we have the Four of Cups next to it, which is sort of ho-hum. It's kind of making me feel like whatever you've been working on, it's starting to feel a little bit like drudgery in the beginning of June, and you're kind of you're just doing the basic things that you have to do, but it's starting to not be quite as exciting maybe as it was before, or you're just craving some more stimulation. So we see that in the first week of June, and I think that it's going to be a good time for you actually to start visualizing what it would look like to have a more exciting relationship with whatever it is that you have to do on a daily basis. So I want you to play around with that and be creative and think, how can I enjoy this process more? Or if I absolutely am at the end of my rope and I can't, what can I do to start changing things? What can I do to start bringing in more stimulation? I do feel that you're going to get that by the second week of June because you have the Star and the King of Cups. So there could be a male or female water sign around you, possibly Scorpio, or this could be somebody who's just around you who is artistic and creative, or it could even be an aspect of yourself, Sagittarius. But I'm getting this very inspired feeling as we move into the second week. So with the Star, this is about that new calling that I mentioned from earlier. The Star is about future hopes and dreams. And a lot of times when we have the Four of Cups coming up with the Seven of Pentacles, one of the things that makes it feel kind of ho-hum is that we've lost the vision for the distant future. And one of the things that we, as humans, typically always feel better, we typically always feel better when we have a long-term goal that we're working towards, like when we have something to look forward to, basically. So I feel like there's just this sense of you needing to really have something like a stronger vision of what you're looking forward to in your life, and maybe coming up with some things that you can work towards, like goals, or maybe planning a trip. With the ship in the background here, it kind of makes me think that something that could help inspire you and enliven you is maybe you're working really hard and making your money, and you feel kind of ho-hum about it, or you feel kind of locked into a schedule. Maybe you can start planning a trip that you can feel really excited about, and then you're going to be using your money and using all your hard work towards something that is beneficial and healing to you on many different levels. So it's worth it just to have something to shoot for and something to aim for, especially for a Sagittarius. You know, your constellation is the Archer, so you need something to aim for, and when you don't have that, I think you lose some of your valor in life. You lose some of the juice of your experience when you don't have something to aim for. So I think something like that is coming back to you, and you're feeling really inspired by this new juicy concept, something that you can really sink your teeth into, something that's going to take you a while as well, because the Star is coming up, which is long-term hopes. Stars are far away, so it's about far away hopes and dreams, and what you can accomplish over time. It's also something that brings light into your world because the stars shine. So there's something here about illumination, perhaps, of more of your gifts or more of your creativity. And this could be prompted by the squeeze that you're feeling in the first week. So it's important never to judge negative emotions when we have them. Because sometimes we have them so that we can make the adjustment that we need to make in order to take ourselves to the next level. So sometimes a negative thought or a negative feeling isn't just there to make you feel bad, and it's not maybe just there because you're being unintentional even. Sometimes it's there to tell you that you need to make some shifts, and then, you know, that's really the first stage sometimes of a beautiful new adventure or a beautiful fresh shift coming into your life. The first seedling of that is discontent often. So don't get down on yourself if you have been feeling a bit down or a bit discontented, because a lot of times that is the first part of the creation of something new. Now, we have Seven of Swords in the Emperor, so there could be a little bit of frustration around a male figure, an authority figure perhaps, in the third week of June. Maybe not an authority figure, but somebody who has a little bit of grounds where they feel like they should have a say in something with the Emperor. So this could be a boss or a manager or somebody who is almost like a father figure in a way. There's something here with the Seven of Swords that is kind of making me feel dubious of this person, and so I might be picking up on your emotions, Sagittarius, around the third week of June. Keep in mind that is when you're going to be having your full moon, so emotions are going to be running high for you around that full moon, especially considering the day before how you have that exactly perfect square with Neptune. So I want you to be really clear about kind of the conversations that you're having, and I want you to not be affected. Don't let yourself be swayed into an emotional roller coaster, or don't let yourself be too influenced by people around you who might be saying things like, especially if it feels threatening or intimidating to you in any way, like if someone at work is just kind of dropping hints that they're not satisfied with your work, or something kind of rude and icky. There could be something like that, but what I want to say is usually when your ruler is in a square to Neptune, there can be illusions involved. And I feel like, especially with the Seven of Swords, this just feels to me like whatever this person's saying, there might not even be a shred of truth to it. And so you might just be feeling like, ugh, like you want to get away from the influence of the Emperor type of person in your life. I feel kind of like a harsh energy from this card. Maybe it's just the way that this deck has chosen to illustrate the Emperor card. This is the new Palladini Tarot, which I actually really like it, but I'm getting kind of like a beast energy from this Emperor person. So you might be dealing with somebody who kind of just puts you off a little bit energetically, and you're like, ugh, like I don't even want to deal with this. But the Seven of Swords, keep in mind, whatever they're putting out there is probably all bark and no actual bite. I don't think this person does actually have the ability to affect you in any negative way. And I think most of all, they're just, with the Seven of Swords there, it can be like a scare tactic where the person just wants to say something to kind of give you some sort of impression, and then therefore that's how they gain control in the situation, is only if you accept what they're saying as the gospel. And you're not going to, because you've heard this reading. So if this particular situation manifests for you, Sagittarius, which it's not going to manifest for everyone, but if you are one of the ones who this energetic trend is kind of relevant for, I want you to just stay in your own lane, stay calm, stay cool. Just take it with a grain of salt, because like I said, I don't think that there's any truth to this, and really time will tell. So if someone's kind of you feel like someone's deceiving you, trust your instincts and don't take whatever they're saying as the truth, because it probably, at the very least, it's probably not the whole truth. There's some kind of omission happening. The interesting thing that we do have here is the Four of Wands and the Death card at the end of the month, which both of these cards imply that something has been completed. The Four of Wands is typically a really happy energy, and I absolutely love how they've chosen to illustrate the Four of Rods, which is the Four of Wands, in the new Palladini Tarot deck. I just feel like it has such a beautiful kind of spacey nighttime scene. You never see a nighttime Four of Wands. At least I almost never do. I can't even think of like a nighttime Four of Wands. It's almost always a daytime card, but I love how we see the stars in the background, and there's this sense with the flowers and the little kind of overhang here. The detail makes me feel like there's some kind of ritual taking place for you, Sagittarius, at the end of the month. This could be a ritual you do for yourself, or it could be something that maybe another person is doing for you, or a group of people, you're becoming initiated into something. Because I feel like as you cross under this threshold that we see visually in the card, which is symbolic for you in your life, as you cross through whatever threshold it is for you at the end of the month, it's like then you're on your new journey. Then you have completed a leg of your life path, and you can not look back. So I want you to think about what you want to release and what you want to let go of, so that you can move forward with greater freedom and greater kind of personal autonomy, Sagittarius. Because you have your full moon, you have your half birthday if you're a Sagittarius sun. This is a time for you to release. It's a powerful time for you to let go of what you've been carrying over the last 6 months or so that is no longer serving you, and you can just put it down. And that's really what the Death card is saying, is this is a transformation. this is a shift from one state of being into another, and it can be as impactful as you want it to be, Sagittarius. For many of you, the feeling I get from these cards is that this is a self-initiated transformation. It's not necessarily something that I don't feel it like the Tower, really. I feel it more like a personal choice. And sometimes with the Tower card, you know, it's not always a personal choice, but with the Death card and the Four of Wands, it feels more to me like a completion point on your journey and an internal realization, almost like, if you're into astrology, almost like it's a progression. It's a progress transit, not an actual outer transit that's going on, you know, right now in the sky, but it's more like an internal, deeply felt on the inner level sort of transit that you are undergoing this sort of very personal change that's happening within you, and you're recognizing, oh my gosh, like I'm done with that. I am done. And I don't have any resentment. I don't have any regret. Like I'm just done. And so you get to walk forward and keep going towards, you know, your final destination, which of course, once you get there, there's going to be another destination after that. So it's just a constant process of cycles, ending and beginning. But I do feel that this is an important phase in your journey because I'm picking up this energy of like growth with those cards that I wouldn't necessarily get if it was just the Four of Wands or just the Death card. But the fact that they both came up together shows me that this is almost like a happy death. You know, it's like it's a happy ending in some ways. Even though maybe you're coming to a realization perhaps through some sort of, I don't know, some sort of event, possibly, but the internal aspect of what's going on feels very wholesome and satisfying to you. So we're definitely going to get some more insight into that with your extension reading. I'm going to pull those cards right now. So I just look at a deepening of the energies and then the outcome of each week. So kind of like what you can do to take best advantage of the energies of that week. Feels like this one. And how you can really make the most of it. Okay, and then I'm also going to pull some relationship cards because my readings don't always focus on relationships in particular. But for you, I wanted to get in the extension just a little bit more insight into the energies of you and another person. Feels like this top one. So this is a Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And we'll also be looking at your Soul Trees Oracle cards. And I'm going to get you, and I'm going to read it for you now, a Bob Ross card from the Bob Ross playing card deck. This is absolutely the cutest deck, and I find that it's really spooky accurate when I do readings for creatives with it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull you a special Bob Ross card. Okay. And of course, in the extension, we'll also look at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so let's read the Bob Ross for now. It says, I don't try to understand everything in nature. I just look at it and enjoy it. I don't try to understand everything in nature. I just look at it and enjoy it. So this is another thing that's kind of bringing me back to that feeling that I was getting that you are going into the unknown this month, Sagittarius, and you're not going to know the inner kind of machinations of everything that's going on, and you're not going to necessarily know where it's taking you, but you can just enjoy it and choose to enjoy the process. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Hanged Man. We have the Six of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Three of Cups. We've got the Knight of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Death card for that Emperor situation, which really makes a lot of sense. We've got the Judgment card with the Four of Cups and the Two of Swords. In your energy, we have the, oh yeah, so we've got the Seven of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. We've got the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So possibly money coming in through a partner. We'll definitely get some more clarity cards on that. And your Oracle card is Mending. And your Soul Trees Oracle is Teach. Okay, Sagittarius, thank you so much for being here on my channel. I hope your reading was helpful to you. I will go ahead and put a link to the Vimeo reading if you feel called to support my channel and the work that I do, and if you enjoy these readings and you just want to shout out and say thanks and continue watching, that's what the Vimeo readings are for. So if you feel called, I'll put all that information below. I also wanted to let you guys know about a reading special that I have going just for a limited amount of time while supplies last. It's career readings using your astrology chart and tarot cards. So it's an astrology and tarot combo reading where I'm going to be looking at the biggest energies that I see in your chart for career, and I'm also going to be looking at the biggest transits that you could be coming up with over the next 6 months or so that could be big power points for you in your career, and any clarity on life purpose, anything that you want to know about career and creativity. You're going to get an astrology and a tarot kind of all blended together, and it's really been fun. So I'll put that information on that sale below. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here, Sag. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.